Kenton, of course, the final game of the regular season coming up tomorrow, obviously a big one at that. But I mean, first things first, how have things been over the course of this week in terms of trying to get yourselves obviously prepared for that tomorrow?
Well, yeah, I think we know the importance of it. I think there's been a lot of talk lately, probably the recent months of things we have to action and we have to do to get into the playoffs, and we haven't quite done them, probably barring the Forest Green, York and Dagenham game. Well, first half of the York game and the Dagenham game, we haven't really actioned that, and we've spoke a lot, and I think now we all know it's the time for action. It's now or never, and this is a season-defining game. We have to give everything. Anything less than giving your maximum, it's doing the fans a disservice, doing ourselves a disservice, teammates. So for that, we have to leave everything out there. It's now or never, really.
You mentioned there, of course, feeling like it's a season-defining game for you. Obviously, it rides on the result that if you win, you get into the playoffs, and that's what you need to do to get into those and keep your season going. I mean, from your own point of view, you've been involved in quite a few big games while you've been at the club. So really, where does this sit in terms of that importance and that scale and everything like that?
I think it's the biggest, without a doubt. Even bigger than the trophy finals we had. You look at where this can take us. Obviously, we want to get into the Football League. That's our aspirations. We all want to play in the Football League, and this game can take us there. And within this season, you look at everything that's happened to us. Obviously, we've had a lot of injuries. Even myself, like tore the tendon off my groin, tore my LCL, and I'm looking at that, and I'd go through that 10 times over if it meant we got promoted. And I feel like that's what we kind of have to channel, just that disappointment that we've went through this season and even last with the playoff situation. I feel like the lads who were here last year, we have to kind of lead from the front with that. There's a lot of disappointment, a lot of emotions, and we have to channel that into what is essentially a one-off game. And when the playoffs start, this is more or less that first game of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned there in terms of channeling disappointment or sort of obstacles and any adversity you've faced, how important is making sure that's how you channel it and that's how that comes out instead of letting those obstacles kind of bring you down a little bit?
Oh yeah, without doubt, we have to use that as a positive. It'd be a massive feat for this football club if we get promoted, and there is that belief there that we can do it. Although, like I alluded to before, the talk we've had of this is what we need to do to get promoted, this is what we need action. The last few sort of months haven't been good enough from us as a group of players, and we know that. And this is the game where we put it right. So we have to attack a game of football like we've never attacked one in our lives, really.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned obviously the sort of past couple of months or so not really going the way you want to in terms of results and things like that. Of course, you had obviously a few games, the Dagenham game, Forest Green, the first half of the York game, like you mentioned as well, where it was more of a Gateshead type of performance. But what do you feel like you need to do on Monday that you perhaps haven't been able to do recently?
Intense, do everything wholeheartedly. To be honest, it's maximum effort. That's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to which team wants to get into the playoffs more. So for us, we can go through all the detail and everything, but it's about fighting. At the end of the day, we need to put in maximum effort and do everything with a die-hard attitude.
Yeah, and in terms of channeling, obviously you mentioned the adversity and the obstacles and things like that, but in terms of channeling the actual occasion itself, how do you personally look to try and do that? Because of course everyone's going to be different. Some lads are going to try to park the occasion to one side and just focus on the game itself. Some lads will use it to fire themselves up. So how are you looking at that tomorrow?
I feel like the pressure's a privilege. It means we're in a good situation. We've got something to play for, albeit we have been in the playoffs all season and we should have secured it. We all know that as a group of players. We should have secured it before now. But it's using that as, yes, we've got something to fight for. That's the motivation. We want to get in the Football League. We want to be Football League players. So anything less than sort of going into this game with an attacking mindset, and it's not good enough. So for us as a group of players, it's looking at it as, yes, this is the one-off game where we can go and make things happen. We can go and get into the playoffs and then go up from there.
Yeah, and in terms of, obviously, I mean, we mentioned the occasion and things tomorrow, but obviously it's going to be a big crowd, both home and away supporters, but how important is having that home advantage, being on your own turf and having a big crowd in the main stand as well, trying to help you over the line on that front?
Massive, it's huge. You know what, we've had big crowds this season, and I'll be honest, we know as a group of players, we've let them down when they've turned out in numbers, but still they're still clapping you off, they're still supporting us, and that's huge, that's massive. We know how good the fans are. You look at obviously other clubs in the league, the size of their fan bases. We know we haven't got the biggest fan base, but the support is unrivaled. They're fantastic, even when we go away from home and we come away from those long journeys and we haven't probably played as well as we should have. They're still supporting us, still clapping us off, and that's massive. So that's what we want to do. We want to go out there and attack a game of football, get the crowd up, get them on our side, and go from there, because they're a massive help. It's essentially a 12th man.
Yeah, and I mean, lastly, for you, obviously the management, the supporters, and really, I suppose, everyone involved with the club, how important is it that tomorrow isn't the last game of your season?
Oh, but that's everything. Yeah, that's everything. If we don't win tomorrow, essentially the season's been a failure. So for us, everything does come down to this. And like I've said before, that pressure, it's a privilege, and we need to use that to attack this game of football, because it's a must win.